defending the free market, and making the moral case for capitalism. The Justin Moore Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin Moore Show, where we make sense of what's going on in this crazy, insane, out of control world. Now that the hurricanes have passed by, doesn't look like Florida got hit as bad as many were thinking. It's still not good, but it could have been worse. I guess things could always be worse, right? But anyway, there's just so much going on with the political news, and what's really upset a lot of Republicans here lately is what Trump recently did with the debt ceiling. So what Trump did, he went around Republicans' backs, and he went and had a meeting with Chuck Schumer, Democratic senator from New York, and then Nancy Pelosi, former majority leader in the House, a Democrat from California. Well, he meets with these two, and he has a deal. And basically his deal is to... They approved $15 billion in hurricane relief, but they tied that to increasing the debt ceiling for 3 months. So this whole deal took place September 8th, and so extending it for 3 months. So now this debt ceiling issue is going to have to come back to the forefront on December 8th. So we already know, based on this, we're going to have another possible future crisis coming in December. Oh my gosh, the government might be shut down. And so that's what's going on. And the Republicans are pissed off because, look, if they're going to have a debt ceiling deal, they want to try to cut spending, and then they want to, when they do extend it, they want to have an extension that extends beyond the 2018 election cycle, so they don't have to deal with this issue again. And then thirdly, Republicans hate that this deal that Trump made with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Democrats, they hate that this bill, the debt ceiling increase, was tied in with hurricane relief. So it's like, as a Republican, if you vote against this bill, oh my gosh, you must hate people. You must hate people of Florida and the victims of Harvey, because you don't want to provide disaster relief to them by voting against this bill. And see, that's what politicians do all the time. They love tying in their little projects or things that have a lot of emotional appeal. They like to tie that in with other bills. So then they can have, in the 2018 election cycle, ooh, this guy, blah, 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 Mr. So-and-so, he voted against hurricane relief for people of Hurricane Harvey. So you already know that can happen, for people running for the House or the Senate in Texas, or any other state. So now they sound like crude, horrible people. So the Republicans are really upset with Trump with that, and I can understand that. But Trump also made a comment saying that we should just deal without the debt ceiling, period. Just get rid of it altogether. And I guess for me, like, the debt ceiling is kind of pointless, but the one thing I do like about it is that it's a way of Republicans trying to act like they want to cut spending. They got to act like, okay, we're fiscally conservative, which they're not. But it's at least a way where you can use it as a bargaining chip, where you can try to, get through some cuts in government spending. But see, what's so silly about the bill that Trump approved with Pelosi and Schumer is that, okay, for one, Democrats love to spend money, so they're always going to support a debt ceiling, right? That's never a problem. And they even love it even more when you tie it in with hurricane relief. I mean, that's just perfect. That's exactly what they like. I mean, it should have been two separate things altogether. So it's not like they needed to attach hurricane relief to try to get Schumer and Pelosi on board. It's like, okay, now these guys will definitely go for it. No. Democrats will always go for debt limit increases. But I guess not necessarily. Because if you guys will recall from back when Obama was in the state legislature in Illinois, Obama made the point, and actually I was reading an article here, it's from Chicago Tribune, and he pulls out this quote from Obama. And Obama said, this is back in March 2006, America has a debt problem and a failure of leadership. And therefore, I intend to oppose the effort to increase America's debt limit. Oh, and I should correct that. Sorry. He said that when he was in the U.S. Senate, not the state Senate of Illinois. I guess that wouldn't make any sense because state legislature obviously doesn't have any say over the U.S. debt limit. So sorry about that. So yeah, as Obama was a U.S. senator, here he voted against raising the debt ceiling. Because Obama, oh my gosh, we can't increase the national debt. This is a horrible thing. This is what we pass on to our kids and our grandkids. Well, then Obama becomes president, and basically he doubled the amount of spending that Bush 43 did. That was crazy. So Obama spent more than the last 43 presidents combined. And so it's kind of, you see the hypocrisy there, which hypocrisy, with any sort of politician out there, they're all hypocrites. They all say one thing, they do another. Al Gore, he talks about climate change. He talks about saving the planet, going green. And he's got these giant mansions around the U.S. that consume more electricity than thousands and thousands of homes a year. So of course, a bunch of guys are hypocrites. So you got Leonardo DiCaprio. He's the one who's always praising and talking about global warming and, oh my gosh, we got to save the planet. And he drives around his little private jet all over the place. So there's plenty of hypocrites. But going back to this debt ceiling issue, I can understand where the Republicans are coming from, just because, yeah, it is silly that Trump decided to lump those two together, and it was a short extension, and Trump didn't even try to get any spending cuts whatsoever. Here's the thing too. Republicans act like they are fiscal hawks, but look, the Republicans have been in control since Trump was sworn into office on January 20th. They've got nothing through. They can't get through a repeal of Obamacare. And actually here, let me pull up here. I got Donald Trump's Twitter feed. And I actually can't believe how many times a day this guy tweets. He says, let's see, I'm trying to find his tweet here. I think this was, my goodness. Okay. And here's what Trump said. This is in his Twitter feed. Republicans, sorry. So this is after Trump made his little deal with Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And so he tweets out basically defending himself with his deal. Republicans, sorry. What I've been hearing about repeal and replace for 7 years didn't happen. Even worse, the Senate filibuster rule will never allow the Republicans to pass even great legislation. 8 Dems control will rarely get 60 versus 51 votes. It's a Republican death wish. So that's where Trump's coming from. He's like, hey, you guys haven't got crap together. You guys haven't done crap. You guys always like to talk about doing things. And so, hey, I'm going to at least try to get some things through. Because I guess there is a lot of pressure on President Trump also. That, look, he's going to be going on in a few months, his first year in office. What if he goes through his first year in office, he doesn't have anything through? Nothing done in his agenda. So Trump wants to get some wins. Trump is a winner. That's always likes to say, win, win, win. You vote him president, you're going to get sick of winning. Well, here he is. And it seems like one issue after another now, Trump is working closely with the Democrats. And he's kind of leaving the Republicans. I don't know, it's almost like he's making a transition here. Like with the DACA issue, where a lot of Republicans are upset about that. And like Trump is overturning, when Trump was running for president, he was pointing out how DACA was, unconstitutional and blah, blah, blah. But here, Trump seems to be siding with the Democrats in terms of the illegal immigration issues and providing amnesty for young immigrants. So there's a lot of things that Republicans are just so upset about. And I hear, I'm reading from an article here from New York Times, they pull out a quote from Mark Meadows. Now, Mark Meadows, he's in the Freedom Caucus, and he says, you've got a compassionate heart that wants to deal with hurricane relief. And you've got a number of very principled people who realize we are bankrupting our country by continuing to raise a debt ceiling and not doing anything about spending. Okay, look, I completely agree with Representative Mark Meadows here. That is the big problem. It's spending is the issue. The government needs to cut spending. The debt ceiling, that's a side issue. Okay, yeah, the Congress is the ones who allocate the funds. They're the ones who determine what the budget will be, where money will go during the year. The debt ceiling just allows the U.S. Treasury to basically spend money beyond, what the current debt limit is, in regards to bonds and so forth. So yeah, there are even libertarians out there that point out, hey, let's just remove the debt ceiling. But like I said earlier, I like the way that we can use the debt ceiling as a way to, leverage and try to get some spending cuts. Which seems to never really work, truth be told. But at least, it's a way to at least bring about, and we can talk about the national debt. But what's so interesting And when Trump was first sworn into office as president, he was pointing out, and everybody was thinking, oh my gosh, Trump is going to drain the swamp. He is going to drastically cut government spending. We are going to get our fiscal house in order because of President Trump. Because what we need in office is a good businessman. And they looked at Trump as a very good, successful businessman, and that he would bring that to the White House. And I made the point at the time, look, spending is not going to get cut. And all the skills that a businessman has in the business world, you can't translate and transition that to the political world. Because when you're president of the United States, look, you're not like a CEO. You don't have to make a profit. And when you don't have to make a profit, you don't really care about being efficient. Or when the government does purchase assets, look it. The government has a monopoly on us as taxpayers where they just take our money. Okay. Oh, there's a shortfall. We need more money. Oh, that just means we need to raise taxes more. Oh, we just see the government always needs more and more. The government has an insatiable appetite for more money, and they get it. So it's way different than running a business. A business, you actually have to operate in a market. The government can work around the market and just take things at will. You know, the government has force behind it. That's what makes it so much different. Because, okay, you don't want to pay your taxes? You don't want to help fund the government? Well, guess what? You're going to end up going to jail. So, I don't know. Like, just everything that's going on, the people who just thought that Trump was going to be able to contain all the spending, that is not happening. And you can see, just looking at what the dollar has done since Trump's election. Man, the first few months of Trump's presidency, people were so optimistic. The dollar strengthened to 14-year highs. You guys remember me on my show talking about this. We know what's happened the last month? The dollar's at the lowest it's been, I think, since at least 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And we have gold right now at 10-month highs. So the dollar has weakened. People are starting to realize, okay, maybe President Trump can't really drain the swamp like he said he could during the campaign. No, things are more of the same. Here's Trump working with Democrats. Seems like he's acting more like a Democrat president, kind of just leaving the Republicans in the cold out there. And anyone who watched this last campaign, this presidential campaign, you guys should know Trump was never really an ideologue. Trump was never a conservative. And so it's no surprise to me that he's operating like this, making deals with Democrats. I mean, Trump's really pragmatic because, I don't know, he doesn't really care about the parties. It's more about getting things done, and his ideas with things, it's going to go to a much larger government. You guys can look back during the campaign where I think Trump was president when he said this. Yeah, this was a few months ago, where Trump made the comment about Janet Yellen that he really liked how, she's a low interest rate sort of girl and he's a low interest rate sort of guy. So he kind of likes that about her, So, I mean, like, if you just think about what all that means with Trump saying that, that's telling you, look, this guy doesn't understand how interest rates work in an economy and how destructive they really are. Donald Trump, at the very least, is not an Austrian. And just all of the little things he thinks will work, it's all just about making little deals. And it's just amazing to me, like, how people actually thought that this guy was going to be some sort of libertarian or some sort of conservative. He was far from that. This is what I warned about before Trump became president. I mean, certainly Hillary, she was not any better. I mean, Trump is probably better than Hillary, but still, I'm glad I didn't make that choice at the end of the day, because I would be like, oh my gosh, I voted for this guy. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So this is going to be very telling what happens when we have the budget deal, when we have the debt ceiling come about on December 8th. Is Trump going to cut another deal with Democrats? Are they actually going to work on some sort of plan where actually government spending does kind of get cut? Well, actually keep in mind, when they do come out with some sort of deal, if there is some sort of cuts, you guys know this, it's always cuts to the increases in spending. So it's not actually cuts. So if there is anything, it'll probably be something like that. But say when the debt ceiling comes around in December, if Trump just does another extension, he works with Democrats again, like kind of leaving Republicans behind, I think that's going to be very telling of where this presidency is going. And especially if Democrats do take over both houses, or at least the Senate, in 2018, the Democrats are going to have a lot more say. And it's already like the Democrats have so much power. The Democrats are a minority. They don't have the House. They don't have the Senate. They don't have the presidency. And look at how they're running things. This is amazing. The Republicans are in charge of all three, and they can't get crap done. The Republicans are so disgusting how they act. And on top of everything else, I mean, they act like Democrat lights anyway. They don't actually want to cut spending. They never really wanted to repeal Obamacare. It's so sickening watching this stuff. That's why when I see people, you see people go back and forth on Facebook or Twitter, whatever people talk, these little social networks. You know, go our team, go D team, yeah, rah, rah. That's what's so silly to me. Like, who gives a crap? You two are both fighting over the same sort of things. It's not really that much of a difference. We're screwed either way. On September 8th, the debt ceiling passed $20 trillion. That's our national debt, over $20 trillion. When Obama was sworn office, or you can look at it another way, when George W. Bush left office, our national debt was $10.5 trillion. And here we are. What is that? 8? Holy crap, that's 10 years. In 10 years' time, we added $10 trillion to the national debt. Folks, it's not getting any better. How is the government actually going to pay off this debt? Oh, some sort of magic growth in the economy? Oil's going to save us? Really? Go talk to Venezuela about that. Their economy, a big portion of it is because of oil revenues. When oil goes down, that certainly hasn't helped them. But also people and socialists out there, they like to blame what's going on in Venezuela. Oh, it's because of the oil prices. No, it's because socialism doesn't work. And doesn't matter where the government gets money, the government will always spend more than it takes in. That's how the government works. Well, it's like when the Democrats talk about, oh yeah, we need to raise taxes so we can increase revenue to the government, that sort of thing. That way we can be fiscally responsible. Okay, say that works. Say you do raise taxes, that does bring in more money, temporarily. Okay, the government still is going to spend more than it takes in. Okay, that doesn't solve the problem. Say if you're a Republican out there, you're like, okay, well no, the cure is to cut taxes. If you cut taxes, that will actually increase revenues to the government. Okay, so let's say that works. The government gets more revenue, but the government spends more than it takes in. Okay, either way you go, the government spends more than it takes in. We're going to continue to add to the national debt. So what is the answer? The answer is to actually cut the size of government. That's what we need to do. But we don't hear that. The Republicans will just kind of talk about it, but they don't really mean it. I mean, since January 20th, the Republicans have been in charge of the presidency, the House, and the Senate, and they can't get crap done. Now what Trump's talking about working out a tax deal, and he's working closely with Democrats. What sort of tax deal is that going to be when he's working with Democrats? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on right now is showing us how screwed we are. And that's why I'm getting more and more confident. Owning gold, owning silver, protecting yourself from these clowns, they're not going to save us. You guys listening to this show, you guys already think outside the box. You already understand more than any of these politicians do on how an economy actually works. And the government is not the reason that the world goes around. When these politicians make deals, it's not like they just saved us from destruction. They saved the world from collapsing. No, these clowns always get in the way of progress, but they want to be seen as superheroes. Oh yeah, vote for me. Look what I did. I voted for this. You're welcome. Yep, Hurricane Harvey victims. Look at all the money I brought to you guys. See, the politicians act like sugar daddies. But when you're trying to be fiscally responsible, when what we really need to do is cut the debt, but all we're talking about now is how much more money we should spend and who's going to get the money, that does show you where we're headed. And so protect yourself. Yeah, gold, silver. Have a hard asset, because these clowns in Washington, D.C. are going to destroy the value of the dollar. So get out of dollars. Or at least have an insurance against a falling dollar. That seems to be the way we're going. And that's why for several years now, I have done this exact same thing. Put yourself on a gold or silver standard. So from my perspective, that's what makes sense. So anyway, guys, oh crap, you know what? I'll try to have another episode here. Hopefully I can do it. I got to do one sometime in the next few days. Actually, I think I can do it before I go on the Cuba cruise, because I leave this next week for that. So yeah, I'll try to get another episode out, or I might have an interview actually. I still got to get that stuff worked out too. Man, I have so much crap going on. I've been chopping corn, harvesting. It's just been crazy, and I apologize, guys. I mean, all summer long, I've been apologizing. Like, I've kind of been behind. I can't seem to get ahead. Slowly, hopefully I'll figure this out. I'm trying to be so much more efficient in every little thing that I do. So even though I don't really have much time, I will still have time somehow. Okay, that's what I'm working on here, guys. And if you want to help me out, so I can work on being a little more efficient as well, go to my website, go to justinmooreshow.com. Moore is spelled M-O-H-R. If you buy your little Amazon goods through my little link there, I get a small commission back. It costs you nothing extra. Or join Tom Wood's Liberty Classroom. Learn more about how the economy actually works. Austrian economics. Understand where the Keynesians are really coming from. Learn about the American history you never actually got in college or in high school. You can get all that from Tom Wood's site, where he has all these lectures from all these different professors. I mean, it's incredible. All the content there, and it's really reasonably priced. And if you sign up for Tom Wood's Liberty Classroom through my little link there on my website, I will send you my bonus episodes that way. So that's a great way for you guys to get started and just to learn as much as you possibly can. Because as libertarians, we need to understand as much as we can about the economy and just all the little things. There's just so much to learn. I have so much more to learn. But we got to get a head start before things actually do come collapsing down, because people are going to turn and look for someone who has the answers. And you need to be someone who has the answers so you can help turn people in the right direction. So anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today on The Justin Moore Show. I will talk with all you guys next week, and I'm looking forward to it. This is Justin Moore, signing off.